Hi, hello, it's James, and with me is.
Hello, my name is Kevin. I'm normally found over at Dirty 20 Gaming playing role playing games, but today I've been invited to my very first podcast and I'm very excited about it. So thank you very much for inviting me.
You're welcome, and thank you for agreeing. And this is podcast Future Slivers. Now, a lot of people are recording about what movies, TV shows, or even games are waiting. But we are not everyone. So we are recording about what stuff we are not waiting in this year.
I think it's going to be very interesting to see this. There was a lot of shows that are coming out this year that I think are going to be great, but we came up with quite a list of ones that we don't think are going to be very good. So why don't you start us off?
Yeah,
The first one on our list is Goat, a animated picture that's just we're seeing the previews and trailers for it now. Why don't you start us off? What are your thoughts on Goat and why is it on this list?
for me, it's too much remind of Zootopia by Disney. And it's also too generic because it's about sport from zero to hero and we saved us too many times. And also jokes are like not funny. What about you?
I think the thing that got me about this show is it's all about ego. It's not about empathy. Like you mentioned Zootopia too. Um, in that movie, the underdog overcomes bigotry and hatred and ends up saving a whole city at the end. Whereas in Goat, he starts off, he's an undersized athlete who makes it big in the gaming world, but it's only for him. It's all about ego. It's not about empathy. So for me, that kind of cut under any success it might have. Plus,
Yeah,
like you said, the jokes are really kind of childish.
yeah. And the worst part is that everyone waiting for this movie just because this studio made previous three good movies, but the rest movies they were awful from that studio. And I mean, good one were like K-pop Demon Hunters and Spider-Verse and Mitchells versus Robots. But this studio also made Emoji movie, which was awful. So, assuming this studio will make another hit like K-pop Demon Hunters, it's kinda naive.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely accurate. And it's interesting to me because the movies that you mentioned all fall into those two categories, right? The ones that we liked, K-pop Demon Hunters, and the other ones, it's about saving the world, right? And the ones that we don't like the Emoji Movie, and Goat, are all about one person, right? It's all
Yeah,
ego.
and also Hotel Transylvania, which was for me not funny.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one completely. That one is definitely not on my list. Even though they had a professional basketball player introduce the trailer, which in my mind is always a bad thing.
Yeah, they too much try copy success of Space Jam.
Yes, yes, that's the one I was looking for. I knew they were ripping off somebody somewhere, but yeah, that's it exactly. It's Space Jam trying to use a famous sports personality to sell a movie. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah. Mhm. So I think we beat that one up enough. Shall we move on?
yes.
Yeah, okay. Well, speaking of beating them up, I'm going to let you have a start at this one. Wuthering Heights is coming out based on a classic novel. What are your thoughts on the trailer?
Uh, I'm not even big fan of this kind of books, and this movie looks too modern, like for Instagram or for Netflix.
Ah, yeah, I didn't even notice that when I watched it, but you're absolutely right. It looks like a Netflix movie. It doesn't look like a big screen movie, right?
Yeah,
Um, and for someone who has read the book, and I mean, it's not my favorite kind of book, but I have read it, and this movie is not the book. It is very, like you said, very modern. It's very steamy. It's very hot and bothered, and that was not really the point of Wuthering Heights.
yeah. I
But I
don't
like the.
feel I don't feel it will be that good like Frankenstein last year.
Oh my goodness, wasn't that amazing? That if we put together a list of things we want to see again from last year, Frankenstein is right at the top of my list. But that's not what we're doing today. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, that's I like that that you brought that up because they're both sort of from the same historical era, and one is done exceptionally well, and the other one, from what we've seen in the previews, not so much.
I'm only
Ah,
glad that the actress is wearing corset because I hated when when Emma Watson in Beauty and the Beast said she won't wear corset because feminist and her dresses were looking very modern.
yeah. And that's a good point. At the time of Wuthering Heights, the women in the world were tied up, strapped up, and held in by corsets and whatnot. So I understand the modern woman not wanting to do that, but for historical accuracy in this case, I think it might have helped. But I don't know how much help this movie would need to make it a good one from what
Yeah,
we've seen from the previews.
at the worst, they also did on purpose premiere date at Valentine Day
Oh,
for
yeah.
women's.
Yeah, this is, and that's what the feeling I got from it too. This is supposed to be a date movie. That's what this is aimed at, right? This is you take the you go out for dinner and you go to this movie, and then it's a wonderful date night movie, right?
Yeah,
And I guess because of that, it doesn't have to be deep and meaningful. It's just sort of got to be a little bit sexy. Maybe that's what they were going for.
yeah,
Yeah, but yeah, that's I think enough said about that, right?
yes.
Yes. So let's change the pace completely here. The next one on the list, and you brought this one up, and I can't say no to this. Scream 7. 7. Tell us what you think.
Why? Just why we doing this? We soon end up with Scream 20 in this speed.
Oh, yes. And they'll all be exactly the same, right?
Yes,
Um, I watched the preview and I kept thinking it looks like a 1980s slasher horror movie, but it's 40 years too late.
yeah, and
so,
and I feel like this movie could do even ChatGPT. That is just
mhm.
stupid idea.
Yeah, yeah. This reminds me of the Friday the 13th movies where they made so many of them. And it was, I don't know if it was true or not, but the joke was that he had bet that he could make 13 movies that made money. And that's the only reason they made as many of those as they did. I don't think they got to 13, but they made a lot. But I get the same feeling from this one, right? Like somebody's
Yes,
just trying to make a dollar off of using the same script for the seventh time.
and just cutting off tickets from old franchise like
Yeah.
milking.
Oh, exactly. All the callbacks and the the references to other shows and things like that. It failed. I think is fair to say. And just from watching the preview, it's the same old noise, right?
Yes, but I feel this movie will be promoted everywhere, like in Fortnite and everywhere, because nostalgia.
Yeah, and that's a very good point too. A lot of, not a lot, but some of the movies that are coming out now, they seem like they're designed for crossovers. And I'm glad you mentioned Fortnite, because that's what it seems like. Every movie ever ends up with skins in Fortnite, right?
Yes,
And I wonder how much they get paid for that. Maybe that's how they pay for these movies. I don't know how much you get, but yeah, my go to is if there's a skin in Fortnite, I probably don't want to see the movie.
yes. And I bet in shops we will see a return of Ghost Mask, like
Yeah.
in, in, in shops with clothing.
Yeah, and I think when the as we get closer to Halloween, when the Halloween stores open up, we will, for the 20th year in a row, see lots of ghost face killer masks out there.
Yes,
Yeah, and they won't be any scarier than they were 20 years ago.
yes.
Uh, okay, this next one, I had hopes for this next one. I really thought it was a cool idea. This is Hoppers. um, where we put a human mind in an animal and send them out into the world, and it could have been brilliant. But tell us what you thought of it.
I don't like that it's another movie about ecology, about animals doing a revolution against humans, destroying nature and making cities.
Yeah.
And also, I don't like jokes in that movie.
Oh, I'm with you there. I watched that preview and I just thought, oh my goodness, did you guys write this in one afternoon? The jokes are childish, they're juvenile, they're not funny. I kept expecting a fart joke. It was like that level of humor, right?
Yeah,
Um,
but you know what is also stupid and
what's
too
that?
old? Do you have those two deers talking in trailer?
Yes.
They were
Yeah.
they were Easter eggs to wines that short videos years ago.
Oh, I did not catch that. But yeah, it seems like that kind of show. What got me watching the trailer is it seems like another case of imposing human traits on animals. Like I said, this could have been really cool. This could have been a human that went into an animal and really found out how animals got through their day every day. It could have been educational, it could have been smart, but instead it's just, oh my goodness, animals are bad, right? They're trying to eat each other. Oh no.
And
And it just, oh, it bugged
and
me.
also we need to destroy humans before they destroy us. And how
Yes, yeah,
many we have that?
yeah.
I
I
also
heard one person refer to it as Avatar, but with furry creatures.
yes,
Right?
and you
Yeah.
know why people kinda waiting for that movie while I'm not? It's
Why so?
that it's that creator made TV show We Bears, which were hit,
Ah,
but I don't know. I just don't feel. I also like its original movie because now Pixar is doing too many sequels, but we came to that topic later.
yes. Um, yeah, I agree with that completely. So let's change
I
pace again,
just,
because
I
go
just,
ahead.
last thing, I just feel this movie will again flop, and again Pixar and Disney will read wrong lesson that it's bad because it's original and not sequel.
Yes, yeah, that is always a danger. Although under the heading "Hope for Disney," I saw an article literally this morning before we started this that says that Disney is considering going back to hand-drawn animation in 2026 rather than their digital stuff. So
Yeah,
I'm all for that. I'd love to see that.
yeah, but I wish they do full length movie, not
Yes.
short or commercials.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. Do what got you here, right? Make good movies, good family movies.
Yes,
Mhm. So, the next one on our list. Oh, I wanted to like this. I love the actor Brendan Fraser. I love the whole comeback story of his career. It's wonderful. But when I watched the preview for The Mummy 4, I was let down. What were your thoughts?
I feel it's kinda nowadays bad idea to make classic adventure movies because now every single one almost a flop. Like Indiana Jones flop, Jungle Cruise flop, even almost Uncharted live action flop. So I feel like I don't know, I just maybe okay, but I feel like this movie is too late.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. My the first thing in my notes is there's nothing new here. It
Yes,
feels like you said it feels like a movie that was made 5 years ago or 10 years ago, and I think that ties into what you were saying too. What's going on in the world always changes what movies are out right at that time and what movies work. And I just feel like The Mummy 4 is a movie out of its own time. It just doesn't work right now. Right?
it would work in 90s or early
Yes.
2000.
Yeah. Yeah. The one in the height of the monster movie era, right?
Yes,
And
but also
we're gonna run against this later on tonight too. So
yes, but
go ahead.
also adventure classic like
Yes.
Indiana Jones, Treasure,
Yeah.
National Treasure. But those movies ended.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Most people wouldn't have thought of making one now, and the people that did ended up with a movie that looks like it got made 10 years ago
And flopped
and
because
flopped
nobody
again.
want to
Yeah.
came.
Yeah. Nobody's. We've seen this before, right?
It's
Uh,
even not even Indiana Jones flopped.
yes, and I mean that's as big a franchise as there is, right? If that's not working,
Yes,
then it's time to change the kind of movies you're making, right? Speaking of a movie that seems like it's out of its own time zone, The Devil Wears Prada 2, Fashion Never Sleeps. Um, what are your thoughts on that one?
that's why. Like we want first movie ended like she quit at work and she felt it's stupid because it was ruining her, her relation with friends and boyfriend, I think. And now she returned to the same boss and to this work.
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad that's what you thought of it because the first thing I thought when I was watching the preview is this movie is not aimed at me. Right? That's not. I'm not the target audience, but I got the same sensation out of all the sequels that we're going to talk about today. This is the one that feels to me the most forced. Like
Yet,
there is no reason to do this movie, right?
and also, you know what? Also, I feel like people criticize myself videos,
Hmm. What's that?
even technical are worse. Like lighting is like from Netflix, while
Yes.
first one was more dark, gritty.
Yeah. So yes, yeah, they went. They made a sequel and didn't do it. Even technically, it's not done as well as the original. So that's certainly a problem.
It just Disney wanted another franchise. Desperate.
I think you're absolutely right on that one too. They saw a target audience and went after it, and that doesn't seem like it's worked.
No, it's more like they buy Fox 20th century and now they're
Oh, I
trying
see.
to find another franchise because
I got you.
Marvel is not okay, Star Wars is not okay right now, So they are
Yeah.
desperate to find another big franchise.
Hmm. I like that idea. That's interesting. And if that's what they were doing, I don't think they made it. We'll find out when the movie's
Because,
released and we see how many people go to see it. But
yeah,
yeah, it's not
be,
looking great.
because they buy 20th Century Fox like in 2020 and the money didn't return yet.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, they're trying to pay off their purchase. That makes sense.
Yes,
Uh, but to cut from there to a franchise that has made money, I mean, there's no denying that the Star Wars franchise has made a ton of money. But what the Mandalorian and Grogu? Um, I was surprised at how much I didn't like the trailer. But let's have you go first and tell me what you think about it.
I feel this movie is coming too late because everybody loved it first and maybe second season. But now, when everybody is not longer watching this, this TV show, they won't go to watch this movie. And also, this looks like special episode for Disney Plus, not as cinema.
Yes, yeah. The thing that got me on this one is how much it looked like the original Star Wars. I mean, like from the '80s, the original first movie. It looks like that, and like you said, the effects look like a TV show, not like a movie. It's not grand enough. It's not heroic enough. Like the rest of the Star Wars series, even though Grogu's in it, it's too much about being cute and not enough about the war that was going on in the universe at the time.
Yeah, and you know what is also sad about
What's
this
that?
movie?
Mhm.
You know when last time we had Star Wars movie in cinema?
No, I don't actually. It's been
Like
a while.
7 years ago
Right.
in
Yeah.
2019.
Yeah, that's and again we're back to what we were talking about before, these gaps that are too big. It's too late to do a sequel now, right? Nobody's interested
Yeah,
anymore.
but also last movie didn't go well with money. Like it did
Mhm.
some money, but it was less and less in this trilogy. And now Disney also had money plans for movie and they every cancel. And now we have this special episode in cinema. It's stupid.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree with you completely on that one. And we couldn't have a better segue into our next title than that was stupid. Scary Movie 6. Um, I guess I can start this one because I got one thing to say about it. I
Yes,
thought this was supposed to be funny, and it's just not. The preview is old jokes and callbacks to previous episodes, and it's like they didn't even bother writing the script on this one. Is the way I feel. But how about you?
yeah, and I feel they are making this movie just because we had Naked Gun last year and
Yes.
on Horizon Spaceballs too.
Yes, yeah, that's coming, and I'm looking forward to that one. That's not on this list. I'm looking forward to Spaceballs too. But yeah, that's a good point. It seems like they saw some successful stuff from the past and just went back to the same time frame and grabbed something else and tried to do that one too.
Yeah,
And yeah, it just doesn't work for me at all. Uh, hmm. That was quick. We didn't have much to say about that one. But on the topic of sequels, oh my goodness, Toy Story 5. What are your thoughts on this?
I hate it. I hate it for few reasons. First, in unnecessary Toy Story 4, Woody went out to leave toys and kid, and now
Mhm.
they return in 5.
Yeah. Yep. Um, my big issue with it was, in my head, this should have been a single joke in one of the other movies. The whole "we're all going to be replaced by the computer" thing.
But it
It's
was,
it's funny, but it's one joke, right? It's not 90 minutes. So
but it was. They did TV show where Bonnie, the new kid with toys, went to her college. I mean college visit, and he was computer maniac, and his toys were wild. And then he returned to his toys because he preferred computer games, and Woody and crew made him return to toys. And
right.
that was okay. TV short, not
Yeah.
not whole movie.
Exactly. Yeah. It should have been a short. That's what I was
And
thinking is
they
when I
did
watched it.
already.
Mhm. Yeah, and it's been done. Yeah. So it's which makes me think they saw the short, saw that it did well, and thought, let's turn that into a movie and make some money. So,
And also they
but
have a lot of complaint at iPad kids.
sure, yeah, and again, marketing. If that's the story, you're not marketing it to kids, right? Because the kids would rather play on a computer, and so would I, if I'm honest. But it's um, it's marketed at their parents, right? It's marketed
Yeah,
maybe even at their grandparents. The good old days of a wooden toy, and somehow that's supposed to be better than
yeah,
the most advanced video games out there right now.
that's nostalgia for parents. And also, you know what is second plot in that movie?
Oh, what's that?
That Buzz Lightyear is bad at have army of Buzz Lightyears.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, another gag. It should have been a one joke thing. It should have been another short, right?
Yeah, but they will sell iPad from that movie and have money.
Certainly will. Yep. Yep. Oh yeah. And I'm sure that there was money paid for that to be in there. So
I won't think
ah.
when they announce Toy Story 6 or 10.
Yeah. Toy Story 10, where Woody's just a pile of dust because he's been eaten by termites. Right?
Yes,
uh, but there's no real segue here. I can't say speaking of eaten by termites, but superhero movies are still going on, and this year upcoming is Supergirl. The preview shocked me, honestly. Not what I was expecting. What are your thoughts?
I don't like this type of heroines in movies. I like drinking, sassy. I just don't like. I know she have reason to be like that, but I'm still don't like. We have so many females like that recently.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. I like the idea of real humans as superheroes, but all I could think of during this whole preview was that's not Supergirl, right? Superman and Supergirl are above that. They're good people at heart. They don't go out and get hammered. It's just not who they are. So it was very, very difficult for me to watch that, even to watch the preview, because it just didn't feel like it was Supergirl.
Yeah, but I mean, I even hated when in Marvel, Valkyria was drinking like her,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
she even can stand because she drank, or
yeah.
She-Hulk, she was also drinking a lot.
Yeah, and I get it. They're trying to make their heroes human, but there are other ways to do it.
Yes,
Um,
I know that my brother will be upset at me that I don't waiting for Supergirl, but I just don't like famous like that. Maybe I give it a chance, that movie, but I'm not super waiting.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. Like I said, that it just doesn't ring true. It doesn't sound like Supergirl to me. I know they're trying to make them human, but I just well, here's the upshot. I think I don't like the character. Just from what I've seen from the previews, I don't like the character. And I'm supposed to love Supergirl. I'm supposed to love Superman, right? They're heroes with no downside, right?
Yeah,
And in this show, they've got downsides, and that kind of to me that makes them less than what they were.
they give explanation that her planet and family was destroyed, but still, it's not nice.
Yeah, I can think of other ways I would have liked to tell the Supergirl story, and that's not one of them. But yeah, I didn't make the movie, so like you said, hopefully it's gonna hopefully it'll turn out better than the preview looks. But at this point, I'm not holding my breath for it. But another sequel is next. This one I wanted to like this one. Again, Minions 3 just is coming out this year. Um, what are your thoughts on it?
Just add this. Just this need to stop. We have so many these movies with minions, like five or more.
Mhm.
I think
Yeah, and it's
six.
yeah, and it's just the same joke over and over, right? There's nothing new here. It's a whole movie of the same thing we've seen 100 times before, right?
And it's just list of jokes. It's
Yeah,
not even movie. Just a jokes for little children.
yeah. Yeah, and the one thing I kept thinking while I was watching the trailer is that this is going to lead to a whole lot of memes. Minions are great for memes, right? And there's a lot of scenes in this movie that are going to get turned into memes. So maybe there's a positive side to it, but I certainly won't be going to a theater to see it.
I wondered if people again would dress up in suits into cinema going.
I bet they will. I think that's what a lot of these companies are counting on is that these movies, these franchises have fans who will show up no matter what they come out with. As long
Yeah,
as it's got
but
minions on it somewhere, they'll go there, they'll buy the merch, and I think that's what they're counting on.
but previous Minions movie, people went to cinema in suits,
Yeah,
and even cinemas were telling we banned suits in
yeah.
cinema.
Oh, can you imagine trying to watch a movie sitting behind somebody dressed as a minion? That would be be challenging to say the least.
Yeah,
Uh, But the next one here is something interesting to me. This it's kind of started in the last year or so, I think. Maybe I'm out of the loop, but I think it started relatively recently. These live action remakes. In this case, it's Moana, the live action remake.
it's
Um,
not Red Set. It's going from 2011 from
oh,
Alice in Wonderland by
okay,
Tim Burton. And
that's
then
true. Yeah,
they did Maleficent and bunch of others.
right. Yeah, okay. So I learned something there. It isn't as new as I thought. But um, what was your when you saw the preview? What did you think?
I don't want it because it's too recent. First animated Moana came out in 2016, 10 years ago. They are
Right.
doing only for two reasons, just two reasons. First, The Rock wanted that movie because he wanted for him franchise, because
Right.
other franchises failed with him. And second reason, Moana is the best watching animated movie on Disney Plus.
Ah, okay. So they saw a chance to make a remake and make some money. Um, the thing that gets me when I watch this is I keep thinking, why did they do it in live action? You lose things when you do that because when you can animate, you've got no limits, right? Your character can be literally as big as a house. Your character can be have outrageous characteristics or jump around like a like a wild animal. There's no limits on animation, but as soon as you put real people in there, as big as Dwayne Johnson, The Rock is, he's not as big as the guy in the original Moana movies, right? I mean, it wouldn't be possible. There's nobody
Yes,
that big. But to me, it's like you're giving up all of that, and what are you getting? And I don't have an answer for that. How is this better or more interesting than animation? And I don't have an answer for that.
yes. And the worst in those live action also, I think it was The Lion King. Can you imagine The Lion King realistic?
Yeah, it doesn't need to be done. The story's been done, and it works in animation. Especially for me, with the Lion King, the sad bits work because they're animated. If those were real people playing out those scenes, I think I'd be more overwhelmed by the emotion, and I wouldn't get the message that's
But
behind
they
it. Right?
did realistic lions with
Mhm.
emotion on their faces. So
Yeah.
Disney is now making like in factory those live action. Like
Mm.
every single Disney movie is now live action
Yeah, and I mean, they obviously must think it's going to work, but I honestly don't see it.
because they work for money. People are going for nostalgia from childhood. The
Yeah,
Lion King win like 1 billion of dollars. The live action Lion King.
oh yeah, yeah. It's and that brings us to the point, right? Are they only doing this for the money? And it's hard to say no because that's what it looks
And
like. It
and
looks like they're looking for money.
yeah, and because Dwayne Johnson wanted his franchise.
Sure. And we're going to talk about another one of the franchises that he's part of in a little bit here, and we'll understand why he might have wanted a new one.
Yeah,
But anything else you wanted to add about Moana?
no.
Okay, let's move on then. This next one, I got to admit, out of all the movies that we watched the trailers for, this next one is the only one that made me mad. It's The Cat in the Hat, um, and it made me furious because The Cat in the Hat is a sweet, wonderful, chaotic little point of imagination in some child's head, right? That's The Cat in the Hat. This one is so destructive and so adult humor oriented and so nasty and uncaring and abusive. I was mad by the end of the trailer.
Yeah,
Is that just me?
and kinda too modern for me.
Yeah, yeah. The original, the notes that I wrote were the original was whimsical, right? It was light and fun, and yes, he wrecked the house, and yes, thing one and thing two were there. But the key element to me was that the cat in the hat didn't have to exist. He was just in the imagination of those kids in the house, right? And you
Yeah,
can't do that with the new one because he's cracking adult jokes and he's memeing and he's just not the cat in the hat anymore. He's not. I cannot believe that that character is a point of imagination in some child's head. And to me, if you didn't do that, you missed the point.
yeah, and also I feel like people will forget these movies coming out because this movie supposed already come out. They did
Mhm.
trailer and then delay it to
Yeah.
next year.
Yes. And when we get to the video game portion of this, the classic one of that is coming up too. So, but we'll get there in a bit. So yeah, that was the Cat in the Hat. This next one, I tried not to have ideas of what I was expecting to see when I hit the play button on these previews. But Hunger Games, Sunrise of the Reaping, I could have written the script for that preview without ever seeing a second of it. What are your what was
To
your
be
reaction to it?
honest, to be honest, I'm not big fan of Hunger Games. Like even when they come out, they were
Mhm.
for me boring. And
Yeah,
now they bring back because of nostalgia, because those people who were teenagers now are adult and have kids, and now
sure.
they
Yeah,
have nostalgia, so they're doing prequels.
yeah. To me, yeah, that was the other one. To me, is this is a moral story, right? This is a story with a moral, and it just seems out of time. It seems like it should have been done, a decade ago. The message just doesn't ring anymore to me.
Yeah, but even original movie was boring for me
Yeah,
because like characters and everything, it was just bunch of action scenes and stuff like
yes,
that, and it was
yeah,
boring for me.
yeah. It could have been a really interesting story, but yeah, like you said, it just turns into a bunch of action shots and a bunch of fancy backgrounds. So yeah, it's not one I'm going to go and look at for sure. Um, this next one is another one I wanted to like. The Narnia, the Magician's Nephew, also called The Silver Chair. I didn't see a reason for this movie to be made. The story was over. Right, Narnia it's a complete tale. It doesn't need this. That's
Because
what got me.
because Netflix want to have their Game of Thrones, and they
Okay. Oh, I
trade
like that. Yeah.
and they trade with with The Witcher and didn't work. So now Narnia.
Oh, I like that because that explains the sort of darkness and the nastiness that's in this trailer. That I mean, the Narnia story is dark and nasty, but this was just darker and nastier. And yeah, if they were going after the Game of Thrones crowd, then that makes perfect sense to me.
But I don't like they were going like kinda modern, like the director said rock and roll, and the Aslan they wanted cast Mary Streep. Like,
Yeah,
come on, Aslan is kinda like Jesus, so this should be male voice, not
yeah,
female.
yeah. And I understand why they'd want to do it, but the story is pretty clear. I mean, yeah, it's pretty clear in that case. In most cases, I wouldn't concern myself with that, but in this instance, yeah, Aslan is. I mean, he's shown as a male lion, right? He's got a mane, right?
Yes,
That's a male lion, um, and I don't see that anything's gained by changing the gender of that character. But yeah,
I also
that's
I also don't like that instead of doing first movie, they are doing sequel to old this made by Disney movies.
yeah, yeah. So it
And
doesn't even
now
follow the same storyline.
and now franchises torn apart.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Now nobody can do there's no room left to make a good version of this anymore, right? They've wrecked it. Oh,
Yeah, but I mean like you need to watch first three movies on Disney Plus and then jump to Netflix.
right. Yeah. Yeah, and that's I mean just the way that those two groups make movies is different too, right? So you're going to be able it's going to feel very different.
And you need to do service streaming.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Um that seems to be a thing lately too is that if you want to watch all of a series you end up having to get three different services to do it. Uh but shall we move on?
Yes,
Yeah. This next one, when I saw the title, I thought it was in the wrong list. I thought this should have been in the video games list, but apparently they made a movie about John Madden. And all I can say is, of all the people they could have picked to do a biopic of, why John Madden? He was an average football player, an above average coach, and a very famous announcer in football. But is that enough to make a movie about him? I don't think so. But what did you see when you saw the
I
movie?
think they are out of sportsmen, so they are desperate.
Very good point. Um, yeah, but it just and I can't take Nicolas Cage seriously as John Madden. I can't. Every time I look, I just see Nick Cage. I don't see John Madden. I don't see the character he's supposed to be playing. But yeah, and like I said, why? Out of all the people, out of all the interesting stories in the world, even if they wanted to do a sports story, why John Madden? Um, it just he's not even that much of a hero, even amongst football people. I mean, everybody knows him, but it's also he's kind of done. He was again from the '90s and the 2000s. That's when he was really famous. So.
Yeah, but also I'm kinda not big fan of sport movies because they
Mhm.
are so similar. I can only count of fingers of one hand what movies I liked with
Mhm.
sport. And it's really sad because there was a lot of sports movies.
Mhm. Yeah, and yeah, I agree with you on that one. It was I don't see any reason to go and see it. I just don't see I don't see the point.
But I
Now,
bet EA games will add skin to that game inventory of Madden.
well, it's the thing with that is this feels to me like it's backwards that way, right? Like normally you see the movie and then they make a video game, but the Madden football franchise, the EA Sports Madden football, has been around for so long that the knock on it is that it's never changed. It's always the same. So it was already failing as a video game, and now it seems like they put out a movie that's destined to fail to go along with
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it's like FIFA.
Yes. Hmm. Yeah, and even the FIFA games, they are aimed at a very small group of people. Right, it's never been a big audience, but and the same knock there. It's the same every year. The only thing they change is the names on the back of the uniforms. Right,
Yeah,
this should have been DLC. It shouldn't be a whole new game. And you could say that about the Madden football franchise for the last 10 years. But
or update.
mhm. Yeah, change something, make it different, make it
No,
new.
I mean like not DLC.
Oh,
They
I
could
see.
just
Yeah,
update names.
yeah, exactly. The 2026 roster, right? That's all you need to do is just the rosters for each team. And in football, they don't even change that much, so it wouldn't even be much of a fuss.
Yeah,
Okay, well let's stop talking about football. This isn't about sports. Camp Rock 3. I didn't even know there was a Camp Rock 1 and 2, and I certainly didn't know until I watched the preview that the Jonas Brothers had something to do with this. So you probably have more information on this than I do. So
it's
what are your thoughts
funny
on this?
because now Jonas Brothers try to return. They even had last year Christmas movie.
Yep. Yeah. That's exactly my notes say the Jonas Brothers trying to generate new revenue from their dead careers. It's what my notes say. So that's what it struck me as. It's just a way to get their faces in public again. I kept thinking there must be a new album coming out because this felt more like advertising for an album than it did for an actual movie.
Yeah, and I feel very old when I see returns of stars from 2000 early. Like,
Oh,
you know that last year Hilary Duff returned with new song and Avril Lavigne and
mhm.
Evanesca and I feel
Oh
like
yeah.
old.
I'm laughing because talk about feeling old in music. I watched a video the other day, the latest one from Billy Idol, and he's as old as I am. And watching a 60-year-old man prance about the stage trying to sing punk rock music that he sang in the 80s was hard to watch. Let's put it that way. But yeah, sometimes you have to leave the past in the past, I think, is my point. So,
Yeah, and a room for new people.
yeah, exactly. There's lots of new talent out there. And this isn't School of Rock, right? This isn't that impressive to watch. Ah, okay. Oh, Descendants, Wicked Wonderland. This is another one I wanted to like, and it's another one I don't. Um, so moving on, our next movie is Descendants, Wicked Wonderland, and I wanted to like this movie. I really did, but I don't like the previews. But let's start with you. What are your thoughts about this?
I don't like that they keep going after that of actor.
Yeah,
They said
yeah,
they want to and then doing. Even actors from previous movies don't play anymore. They did charity foundation, but they
mhm,
don't return. So Disney is making nostalgia sequels with another actors.
yeah, and that probably should have been a good sign, right? When none of the original crew want to come back, that's probably a good sign that you shouldn't do the movie. Um, what bugged me about it a lot was what I call the dark Disney approach, where they're Disney movies, but they're nasty and cruel and similar to we talked earlier about the Cat in the Hat, how it used to be a kids show and it isn't. And I mean, we can't say that about Wonderland. Alice in Wonderland was never a kid's story, but the new version of it, this darker, nastier version, just doesn't appeal to me. It's not what I'm looking for.
Yeah, and also I'm kinda sad that the Descendant franchise kinda kill off another franchise that I preferred and loved, which are Ever After High.
Yes, yeah. Descendants, where great shows go to die. Yeah.
Yeah, but
But
yeah, but it was literally about the same, about the child characters or fairy tale classic characters. And it was
yes,
TV show on YouTube. But then
mhm,
Disney did the same because they save money
yep, yeah. That's
from
an
toys.
unfortunate. Yes, an unfortunate number of these movies. When you ask the question why were they made, the answer seems to be so they could sell more merch. In a lot of cases, um,
Yeah, and also I feel like you skipped Jumanji.
well, that's next. That's right next on the list. In fact, I was just about to do the segue to it. Jumanji 4. Um, what are your thoughts?
That's why I prefer it with Robert. I prefer it with Robin Williams.
Yeah, that was as talented as Jack Black is. He's not Robin Williams. There's and we just talked about it with the show just a couple that we talked about just a few minutes ago. When certain actors are no longer with us, in my head, that should be the end of the series because nobody can do Jumanji like Robin Williams. Jack Black is a talented individual, and he's probably as close as we're ever going to get, but he's not Robin Williams, and it shows the whole preview. It's like it's not the same. The energy isn't the same.
Yeah, also it's not Jumanji 4, but I think 5, because it was sequel in 90s, and then they did this reboot.
I misnumbered it then. even worse. But yeah, the other thing I noticed with this one is there's one twist to the game, to the Jumanji game that's not the same as the original stories. But this takes us back to when we were talking about Toy Story. This feels like it should have been a short. It feels like it should have been a minute long because it's sort of a one-shot thing. To crank that out into 90 minutes and not have Robin Williams, to me, that's two swings and two misses.
Yeah,
So let's leave that one where it was. Just let it lie there. The next one, finally, a superhero movie, Avengers Doomsday. We both put this one on the list.
yeah.
Uh, I want to hear your side of it first, though.
I just have bad feelings about it. It's no longer, it's not only unnecessary, but I also had bad stuff back in the scenes.
Yeah. Um, I think the thing that hit me when I was watching this was I'm bored of superhero movies. And I even know why. Uh, it's because I want real heroes. I don't want superheroes, right? The superhero, what else are they going to do? If you're strong like Superman, you're not going to be a plumber, right? You're going to save the world. That's what you do. You're either a superhero or a supervillain. And if you can't get hurt and if you never lose, how interesting is the story?
But it's
Maybe it's
even,
because of my. Go
go
ahead.
on.
I was just going to say, maybe it's my role playing game background, but I would rather see a very human person with weaknesses and frailties who gets hurt but saves the world anyway without any special powers. To me, that's a much more heroic story than superheroes. Superhero movies just turn into special effects, shows for me, and I don't. They don't thrill me like they used to.
Yeah, but there's also another reason why I don't wait about this movie, which
What
is
was that?
stupid multiverse. Like they bring back actors who's supposed to die or be
Yeah,
old.
yeah, yeah. They don't even vaguely worry about canon anymore because as soon as they do something that doesn't follow the original story, they just go, "Oh, multiverse," and everything's okay. And that's all right, but it seems like a cheat, right? You should be able to write a story in one universe.
I
If
don't,
somebody's dead, they're dead. That's not too much to ask, right?
and I don't feel any more of serious about danger in that movie because I know
Yeah,
it will be a multiverse.
yeah. And the other thing with superhero movies is, let's face it, the superheroes always win in the end. There's no, you're never worried in a superhero movie who's going to win, right? It's just watch some special effects, and in the end, the good guys win basically because they're good guys. And that story's been told to death. I don't need to see it again.
Yeah, and also they did nostalgia with old actors who, like I said, dead because
Yeah,
the new heroes they made by Marvel flopped, so they bring
yes.
back nostalgia actors.
Yeah, it's that. It's when they decide that, yeah, like you said earlier, they've drawn the wrong conclusion, right? A movie flops, so they'll go make a sequel instead of trying to make a better movie.
Yeah, and also I heard stories that they filming movie while reading script and each actor is recording on green screen separate.
Right. So yeah, there's none of that. I mean, we see a lot of that now. There's a lot. Almost everything is green screened, but when you've got two actors interacting, it doesn't seem too much to ask to have them actually in the same room acting at each other instead of doing their. You could film it in your basement now against a green screen. Just film all your scenes and send them in, and let the editor do the work. Right?
Yeah, and like I said, they don't have a ready script. They were writing while filming.
as much as that works, and again, I come from a role playing background, as much as you can do that in a role playing game, I wouldn't want to be the person doing that with a $50 million uh, movie in my hand. Right? I would rather have the script done before we started. We'd always do changes during filming, but like trying to stay the writers trying to stay one page ahead of the actors is it's not going to work.
Yeah, and I feel very sorry for VFX artists.
Yeah, yeah, you get the feeling that they filmed the scenes and then handed it over to the effects guys and said, "Save us," right? It's like every superhero movie ever. Knock down a building, throw somebody through a wall.
Yeah, but I mean changes and deadline crunch like
Oh yeah,
they need
yeah,
this movie to December this year. So they need to do a lot.
yeah. I'm sure that that will show when you work under pressure. It always shows, right?
It's a reality show. Some movies Marvel recently looks awful, like really bad.
Yeah, I agree with you. A lot of it looks like it was done on one take. It's like good enough. Put it in it. Let's go. Let's move on.
And like from
Uh,
old video movies, good example is Last Ant-Man. It looks like Spice Kids
yeah.
level of VFX.
Yes. Yeah. And speaking of effects and fight scenes and that sort of thing, the next one on our list is Street Fighter. Um, I couldn't believe that they were going to turn this into a movie. I I I don't understand how somebody convinced somebody that this needs to be a movie. It was a really bad video game that I used to spend a lot of money on because it was in an arcade and it cost me a quarter every time I played it. Uh, but it was a really bad video game with no plot, and they seems like they've turned it into a really bad movie with no plot.
Yeah,
What are your thoughts?
because they did Mortal Kombat would
Yes,
earn a lot money few years ago, so now they bring back Street Fighter because Street Fighter had already movies in 90s. It's but Mortal Kombat Return so Street Fighter 2. And
very
I also don't like in that movie that costumes and hairstyle looks like cheap cosplays.
yes, yeah. That and they hired a bunch of famous people. A lot of professional wrestlers are in that movie, and it shows because they're not actors. They're just not. And as little acting as there is in that movie, it's all just fight scenes and special effects from what I've seen. But the scenes where they're supposed to be acting are almost comically bad. Like they're terrible. So
I
yeah,
understand I can't say a lot bad stuff about Mortal Kombat, but even costumes looks better and realistic in the recent
yes,
Mortal Kombat.
yeah, and yeah, I agree with you completely. The stuff in Street Fighter really does look not just like cosplays, but like not very good cosplay. If they were at a convention, they probably have a friend who has to staple the suit back together every 2 hours. It just doesn't look at all well done.
It's cheap, super
Cheap.
cheap.
That's the word I was looking for. Yeah, it's like they spent all their money on the actors, getting these famous names in there, and I think that's the plan. Is that if you were a wrestling fan, you'll go and see this because your favorite wrestlers in it. Maybe
Yeah,
that's what they're counting on.
and I bet some people who play Street Fighter will come watch because
Yep.
nostalgia and because they need to check it because they fan of games.
Yeah, and that means that they're going to end up with a theater full of people my age, almost 60, because that's the street. Like I said, Street Fighter has been around so long that it used to be an arcade game. You used to put a quarter in to play, and so
Yeah,
that's literally the 80s.
they are
So that's 40 years ago. Right?
yeah, and they are still doing new entries.
Yep. Yeah, and I'll be completely honest here. The Street Fighter game is trash. It always has been. It's just a button masher, right? There's nothing to be said. There's no great things to be said about the Street Fighter game. And so when you base a movie on a bad game, you're gonna end up with a bad movie, right?
And when you have a budget like I don't know, like 2 beers budget of
Yeah,
movie.
that's a great way to put it. Yeah, the budget was a case of beer, and they had to split it amongst everybody. Yeah, and it shows. This next one, I hardly even want to talk about.
One thing last but
Oh
straight
yes,
thing. The worst is that because of cheap made movie, it will bring back money easy and they do
yes,
sequel.
yeah. You don't have to make much money to cover the costs when you don't have very many costs. That's a really good point. It's the advantage to low budget movies, right? You don't have to sell 1 million tickets. You sell 100,000, you'll be fine. Uh, but yeah, this next one, I can't even believe this is a movie. Angry Birds 3. Um, I said the same thing about all I did is ditto marks underneath Street Fighter. It's just a bad movie about a bad game, and I don't understand who
And the
into
best
making
part
three versions of this.
And the best part is that this movie was made by the same studio who made K-pop Demon Hunters and Goat. So you can
They,
imagine that why I don't wait for Goat when they are
yeah,
doing Angry Birds. And also, did you have cast list for that movie?
I scanned it, but I don't remember any of the
Mr.
names that were on it.
Beast joined it.
So there, now we know where the money came from. He's marketing himself, would be my opinion on that.
But
Uh,
yeah,
yeah, that tells me everything I need to know about that. If he's involved, again, nothing nasty against him, but he's all about making money. So, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just not. It doesn't make good movies. Right?
yeah, I know that some people likes these movies Angry Birds, but I just prefer it as short in the past. I don't need these movies, and I don't
Exactly.
feel need to catch up with first and second movie.
No, no, I don't think you missed anything, any necessary plot arcs in any of those movies. Uh, this next one you added to the list this morning, and I love that, the last minute edition. Send Help. I'll let you start on this one because you found it. So, what are your thoughts on this?
Those characters are so annoying, and plot is kinda predictable because I can predict that at the end there will be couple romantic.
Yeah, um, I think you're 100% right. That's how these movies end. Um, the thing that got me with this is they had a chance again to tell a good story. They had a chance for the person the person who's not the boss at the start. I don't want to spoil anything, but even if you haven't seen the preview, the positions are flipped, and the staff member becomes the boss, and the boss becomes the staff member. And if that had been done, and the staff member was a better boss than the original boss was, that would be a lesson I could get behind, right? By showing the boss how to be a better boss. But in this case, they get power over their old boss, and they're just a jerk about it. They're just an ass about it for the whole movie, as far as I can tell. And then, like you said, at the end, I'm sure it will be a kiss and make up, and they'll end up as a couple. But I just, it was another one of those chances for it to be a really good moral tale with a story, with a meaning behind it, and it just turned into insult comedy, and I'm not sold.
Yeah, and also what I hate about that movie is that I have enough of badass to strong female characters versus
Yes.
men. Like,
Hmm.
come on, what woman will hunt the boar herself?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like you said, it seems like they once again failed to write a strong female character because it seems to me, maybe I'm wrong, but it seems to me like that was written by men, and it just I'm just not buying it. I don't see that that's how that would play out. But
Yeah,
so yeah, I can't. I'm not convinced by the underlying story. Right?
yeah, and characters are annoying.
Yep, and shallow and one dimensional, and yeah, I feel like I've seen the story before too. Like it's just uh, there's nothing new there.
And I would prefer if that the boss character for man help her to not like his lying and like blonde ticker do nothing while she is man and do everything.
Yeah, exactly. It's just it tells the wrong, it makes the wrong point, right? In my mind.
Yeah,
Uh, So, oh, this next one is interesting. Return to Silent Hill, um, based on a video game, of course. And I wanted to see this. I thought it was going to be really creepy and disturbing. And from what I've seen, I'd rather play. It just made me want to play the game. I don't want to see the movie. I want to go play the game again. How about you?
yeah, it's kinda also looks cheap.
Yeah, there's not. There's not much to it. They're just milking a video game franchise, and it's just like I said, it just made me want to play the game again. What?
I give chance to that movie when come out digital, but I don't feel need to go to cinema.
Yeah, that's probably a good way to put it. Yeah, when it comes out for free somewhere, I'll watch it. Oh, well, that's the end of our official list of movies that we wanted to talk about. We talked about the live action adaptations and how we're not a fan of those too, but I think we can. What do you say? We skip on to games now?
Yes,
All right. Well, this list is this list is almost two lists, isn't it? There's the one that you picked and the ones that I picked, and boy, oh boy, did we find out that you and I play very different games, didn't we? But let's
yeah,
start with yours. And the one I really want to start with is this one that you showed me just yesterday, I think. Spellcasters Chronicles. It's a 3v3 fighting game. And well, I'm gonna you brought it to us, so tell us what you think about this.
I don't like that another studio who is master in single player games making multiplayer live service game.
Yeah, that's
Everybody
yeah,
are waiting for the Star Wars game they are making, but no,
right.
they are quiet about that game and they making a copy of League of Legends, which this
Yes.
genre is full now and nobody succeed. I
Yeah.
bet this game will alive like for 1 year and they shut down servers.
I think you're absolutely right. And yeah, it's a completely a League of Legends ripoff. It looked to me almost like they just copy pasted another game's programming and just changed the characters. I didn't see anything new or interesting in this that isn't in 10 other games. Right? So it felt to me like a space filler. Like, look, we did something this year more than an honest game.
Yeah, and also it's not the best are comments on the trailer because people say that that boss we said to developers like guys we need something to pay off license Star Wars.
That's that is a very good point. Is this is another case where you spend a little bit of money to try and make a lot of money to cover the cost of your big expensive AAA program, right? Or your AAA game that's coming out later. Uh, that's a good point.
Yeah,
Then
also a lot of single player studios who made multiplayer they fail. Like for example, Elementary Entertainment, the one who made like for example Alan Wake. They did FBC Firebrick and what? They failed.
right,
Or or the one who made Mass Effect, the studio. They
yeah,
did they did Atom. At this move they shut out servers and will
right,
fail it.
yeah. And that's always anything that requires a server always makes me nervous because as soon as the numbers go down, they shut down the server and then the game's dead. Right?
Yeah, but they don't even have experience in multiplayer games. They are
Right.
master of storytelling.
Yeah. 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 And why not stick with what you know? Yeah, that makes sense.
It's
This next
just
one. Yep.
it's
Yep.
just that investors want money.
Yes, that's honest. Yeah. And as we talked about earlier, you have to put out something every year or people think you don't exist anymore. Right. So if that means slapping something together and getting it out there, I guess that's the choice that they made. hmm. Knights Enfield. I had a hard time finding anything on this, so tell us what your thoughts are.
I have enough of gacha Asian games. Like nowadays, there's too many. Like Genshin Impact and Hoyo Wares and other like that. And now there's another spin-off.
hmm Yeah, I completely agree with you there. I felt like I'd seen this game 10 times before. Like you said, Genshin Impact and all of those other ones that are like it. There's a whole genre full of this. I don't think we need another one. I don't think it adds to the story at all.
There's only one gacha game that I'm waiting coming this year. Only
Okay,
one, but it looks totally different than this one because
right,
the that game that I'm waiting, Project Anata, is trying to copy Grand Theft Auto and then Watch Dogs and Spider-Man and bunch of
right.
other games and in modern world. So it's kinda different. But this one is another Genshin Impact.
Yeah, it's a copy paste game, right? They saw somebody else making, or they saw that a game
No,
was making
it's
money,
spin-off to another game that is for mobile Chinese, I think,
right?
for mobile that gacha. So now they're doing 3D like Genshin Impact spin-off and they
Right.
invested so much in that promotion this game. They even hired Imagine Dragons on
Oh
the
wow.
Game Awards to
Oh
show
wow.
that.
Okay. Huh. Yeah, that's that's not inexpensive. I'd like to see them spending it on the programmers instead, but you get what you pay for, right?
They
Uh,
paid a lot artists to pay fan service characters, so
yeah.
the money return.
Yeah. All right. So the next one on our list, when I watched this one, I felt like I'd played it, but it's a different game. But this one is called Cairn, and you are climbing. It's a survival mountain climbing game, which again had the opportunity to be really interesting. But what do you think?
I have enough games of climbing mountains. In recent years, it was like few of them, and I also have enough of this game because last year and earlier that year, on almost single, every presentation of games, this game was like when there was Summer Game Fest and I watched like 10 of games presentation. 8 of them had that game.
Yeah, yeah. It's somebody's trying really hard to make a successful game here, and it that's what I felt too. It felt kind of forced. It felt a little unnatural. Um, like they were pumping up something that was. I mean, it's a walking simulator, right, with a bit of survival thrown in, and they're pumping it up like it's something special. To me, this is a game you play when you're bored and you just want to kill time and not have to think. It doesn't require a lot of brain work to get through it from what it looks like. And the other thing with this is I wish it was prettier. I really wish it was nicer to look at. Because at least if I'm going to do a walking simulator, I want a nice background.
And nice character. Main character also looks worried.
Yeah, and not particularly well rendered, but that's a personal choice, I guess. I don't like that style, but
Yeah, but really, even of presentation about the accessibility games this game was, and I felt like this
oh
game is like true to my throat, and they like, and I thought this game already come out because last 2 years I see
yes,
this game.
yeah. Yeah, there is that, and like you said, there's been some other climbing games on the market that have been they're a niche game. You're never going to sell a million copies of it, but there's a couple that have done fairly well, and I don't know if this one's going to be one of those. I think it's just more of the same, and it's too late. Like you said, it's 2 years too late.
Yeah,
So the next one here, I had never heard of until you put it on the list here. Neo 3. Um, tell us about that.
not no, no. I
Neo.
just,
Okay, I didn't even pronounce
I,
it right. Show us
it's
how little I know.
It's Chinese game
Okay.
and another sauce like. And I did this because I don't like sauce like games. There's so many sauce like games on the market
Hmm.
and most of them are boring for me. I just don't like and I'm not playing them anyway because they're too hard for me.
Yeah, yeah. This falls to me. This falls under the category of games that make me mad. And I don't play games that make me mad anymore. I'm not saying anything about people that do. A lot of people like the Souls games. I can't stand more than about 10 minutes of it. And I'm with you. The last thing we need is another extremely difficult game. Um, I don't see that there's a market for it. There's already enough Souls likes out there already, right?
Yeah,
Other end of the spectrum, though. Oh my goodness, we go from the darkness of the Dark Souls games to back to a long time video game classic. But Mario Tennis Fever is coming out next year. Uh, what do you, why are you not looking forward to that one?
because it's sport game and
Okay,
for me it's boring sport games.
sure, yeah.
I would
Um,
prefer something like another platformer and I feel in my bones that if movie the Mario Galaxy come out they will announce another one Galaxy Mario. But for now they give us another sport game.
yeah, yeah. I like I played more sports games than a lot of people. I don't play a lot, but I played more than some. And tennis is a extremely difficult game to simulate. It doesn't seem like it should be, but there have been a long list of bad tennis games out there, and I suspect we're just going to add one more to that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and also I don't feel a reason to buy Nintendo Switch, just Nintendo Switch 2, just to play Mario as tennis.
yes, yeah, exactly. That's a whole nother topic. Is which systems would you and wouldn't you own if you had the choice? But yeah, I agree with you on that one. This one just doesn't seem worth the effort.
and buying for $80.
Yes, yeah, it's a triple A price for what should be, what seems like it should be almost like a mini game in another game, right?
Yeah,
Now, this next one's another one I'd never heard of, but that's not surprising because I don't play dating sims. But I'm probably going to butcher the pronunciation. But Otome Dayoshi, is that close?
yes.
Okay. And it is a dating sim, so like I said, I don't play those much, so I'm going to hand over to you on this one because I have
I
almost no
don't
clue.
like I don't like otome games because they are always kinda too sugary, like about girls who have like 5 or more handsome boyfriends and she need pick up one of them. I just
Right?
don't like. I like only dating sim that are kinda funny. Like for
Mhm.
example, dating Grim Reaper or
Yeah.
dating object like furniture or
Yes.
helicopter
Yeah.
dating.
Yeah, make it interesting. I remember watching one of our friends playing a dating sim where they were trying to date demon ladies, and they had to do all kinds of nasty things to impress their date. So that I get, but this, yeah, just a sweet little, cute little dating sim. I don't get it. It doesn't appeal to me at all. But that's just me.
Yeah, and it's why I don't like and I hate that those kind of games are so promoted to female. Like female can't
Yes.
play normal game, female play automatic games, and some even later bring to real life into dating those
Yeah.
sugar games.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's too sweet. It's too artificial. It's not realistic. And I can see how it would appeal to a certain group of people. But again, this is another game that is not marketed at me, right? Nobody's trying to sell me Otome games. Uh,
Another spectrum I hate also dating sims for male because then male have like they don't date a real woman. They have
yes.
fantasies about fan service in those dating games.
Yeah. And it sets up completely unreasonable expectations in the real world, right? It's not healthy,
Yeah, but
in
also
my opinion. But
yes, but also I mean some people don't even bother to date a real female, to talk to on street to female because they stay at home in front of computer and play dating sims.
yeah, and end up with an AI girlfriend at some point, right?
And that
uh,
give and those girls in games they treat player as king.
yeah, yes, exactly. It's again unrealistic expectations, right? Is setting people up to go out into the real world and with very very bad ideas about how things work.
Yeah, it's why I'm telling I hate those kind of dating sims. To female
Yeah,
is too sugary and for men is expectation like they don't even feel a need to date a real woman.
yeah, I think that's fair. Um, so let's leave that one behind. We pinned that one to the wall. That one's done. This next one, the game title to me doesn't give any hint as to what the story is about. It's called Marathon, and it's an extraction shooter. And extraction shooters are a fairly new thing, relatively speaking. But what are your thoughts on Marathon?
It's sequel to news game from early 90s. Like really, it's sequel after that so many years. And
Right?
they had a bunch of dramas around that game because that game supposed to come out last year in the same time as Portland, and they, for example, copy artist artwork into game.
Yeah.
And when this come out to light, Sony quietly delayed that game.
Mhm. Yeah. Uh, yeah. The last thing any game needs is scandal. But when it's already sort of a weak game, that's really not going to help at all.
Yeah, and the worst is that game is another live service, but you need pay to buy that game to play.
Oh yes, yeah. We could do a whole episode on predatory billing in games where you buy the game and then you have to pay to get on the servers to play the game and then you have to pay for DLC and then you have to pay for special events and yeah, that's a topic of to itself. But
Yeah, but you imagine you need pay $70 to play that game, and if you play on PlayStation, which is promoted and published by PlayStation, you need you need buy PlayStation Plus
mhm,
to have
yeah,
online uh, function, and if on
oh yeah,
computer you play and grind to have another skins.
yeah. Yeah, the predatory pricing is, like I said, a whole thing we could talk about. iRacing in the sim racing world is probably the model of how to do it or how not to do it, depending on which side you're on. You pay for the game, you buy the content separate from the game, and then you can only play online. So if they ever decide that you pay a monthly sub as well as buying the game. If you don't pay the sub, or if they decide to shut down the servers, you can't play at all because there's no offline version. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's you can see that some people are in this only to make the money.
yeah. Also,
Mhm.
people don't like that this game is nothing unique or interesting compared to other games.
Yeah, it's and they kind of even say that in the trailer. They basically say this is another extraction shooter. If you like extraction shooters, you'll like this. Is basically the pitch, which shook me because what I want to see is tell me what's new, tell me what's different, tell me why I have to get this game because it does something that none of my other games do, and this doesn't offer that, not at all.
Yeah,
Nothing new here.
I'm just glad that they fired director of art who followed artists that they stolen artwork.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not that's nice to see. It's nice to see somebody paying for doing something wrong. That is good.
They don't
Oh boy.
even bother to change. They just copy paste and put as textures in game on
Yeah.
words and everything.
Yeah, that's just and then yeah, how do you
E-
expect not to get caught when you do that?
Even sometimes they even leave her watermark.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's bad when you I didn't know that, but that's horrible. That's enough not to pick up the game just for that, just for the fact that they're stealing art, right?
And that game had a lot of budget. And you know why they have so much budget? Because
What's that?
PlayStation buy studio, which is Bungie, who made
Ah,
Destiny, and
yeah.
they want a return of money by big hit of live service.
Yes. Oh, yes. Money, money, money. That ends up being the reason why so many of these, we've been asking all day here, why did they do this? Why did they do this? It's terrible. And the answer is they want to make money. And that's unfortunate. It would be nice if they wanted to make good games instead of making money, but that's not how it works right now.
Yeah,
But mhm. So this next one is another one I had never heard of. I enjoyed this a lot because you sent me this list and it's like about half of them is like, I have never heard of these. I thought I was a gamer. I thought I played lots of games, but Phantom Blade Zero. I have never heard of. So you're gonna have to tell me about this because I couldn't even find a trailer for this.
Chinese action, another like action game where you have
Okay.
big like almost shows like battles in
Okay.
Chinese culture. But I'm
Oh, okay.
not waiting for that game for one reason.
What's that?
I don't like so much games or movies set in Chinese folklore. I just feel they are for me too exotic. I don't
Okay.
like.
Yeah. And that's been a knock on a couple of games. The I think it was it the last Assassin's Creed? There was a knock because of they misrepresented the Japanese culture in the
Yes,
game. They put stuff in there that is not accurate. And
yeah,
while you shouldn't be getting your history from a video game, the least they could do is follow real history. If you're if you're gonna take a story from somebody's culture, at least do it right, right?
yeah, but also I don't like that nowadays Chinese conquer gaming, like failing West gaming. So now
Yeah.
we have so many games. Like for example, Wukong was super popular.
Yes. Yep. Yep. And I've got no problem with international competition, but like you said, when it happens in that way, sometimes that's not very good. But it's the to me, it's the misappropriation of culture that makes me makes me mad with those games. Like,
Yeah, but
there's some cool history, right? There's some really cool history there that would make a great game, but that's
yeah,
not what they chose to do.
but there are Chinese people are doing their Chinese culture and
Yep.
they are way better than the American games. But at the same time, I'm not big fan of Chinese folklore, like the mythology I don't like and all
Hmm.
that stuff.
Yes. There's some other cultures that I'd really like to see games based on. Speaking of which, I just saw the other day. I don't even remember what it's called. I saw it flash past on a screen. There is an upcoming game based on the Slavic mythologies. And I'm really hoping, I haven't even seen a preview for it yet, but I'm really hoping they do that well because, like you were saying, talk about untapped source material. The
Yeah,
Slavic mythology is massive and interesting, and I can relate to it. And I'd love to see somebody take that culture and do a real, honestly good video game about it.
yeah, I'm curious what was name of that game.
I wish I could remember, but we'll have to look up. Well, maybe we'll put that in a future show.
Yeah,
Some games we'd like in the games we'd like to see coming up. Maybe we'll put it in that one.
yeah,
But so yeah, that I think we've got Phantom Blade Zero covered there. The next one, both of us had on the list. No surprise. Anybody that's listening to this is probably waiting to hear these four words all the whole time we've been on. Grand Theft Auto 6. It's got to be on this list, right? It has to be on the I'm not waiting for it list. Tell us why, in your opinion.
because I don't even be able to play that game because I won't buy PlayStation 6. And I I feel already tired of talking and buzz about that game while I feel like when this will coming out will be everywhere. Even you open fridge and you will see drinks with characters.
Yes, I think you're absolutely right. They marketed this series is a masterclass in marketing. But the first note I wrote down is GTA 7 is going to be out before GTA 6 is finished.
Yeah, and
And
and Half-Life 3.
yes, and we're talking now. I just saw the other day. they are saying that they will make GTA 6 will be out in November. There was some talk that it might even be 2027 before it came out, but they're being very firm as of the last week and saying that, by gosh, they're going to get it out in November of this year.
But they were
Um,
confirming last year they will come
yep.
out last year.
Oh yeah, it was. This is to get a little dark here for a second. GTA 6 is kind of like every world war that we've ever had because somebody's always saying it'll be over by this Christmas.
Yeah,
And boy, oh boy, here's the thing though. As long as we've waited for it, and I don't play that series, but as long as people have been waiting for it, it's just more of the same. It's just a different city. You still do the same stupid things. You still break the law in the same ways. You're still the same character you were in the previous, sort of the previous 5 games. Waiting this long for nothing new is just beyond my understanding of why anybody
you
would
know
wait.
why I think they are waiting because they naive trust Rockstar that Rockstar always do best games. So they
Yeah,
have a lot of hype and expectation for
sure.
Rockstar.
Yep. And I even get the appeal of playing a game where you get to be a criminal. I get that. That's like Payday and other games like that. I understand the idea behind it. But there's no way I'd wait 2 years. No way would I wait 2 years for just another iteration of the same game. I
More
would have moved
than
on by now.
more than 2 years. You forget that first one, I mean not first one, but the five,
Yeah.
GTA 5, it was like, I don't know, 2030, 2012, I don't
Now that you mention
remember.
it, yeah, it was a very long time ago, and it's still going, and that says good things about there's definitely a group of people that play these games, but I
It
can't
kept
imagine anybody's excited about it anymore.
it kept going because GTA Online bring
Yes,
money.
yeah, oh yeah, lots of money. That's Yep. Anytime you're buying a season's pass to a game that you already paid for, somebody is profiting from that, and it's not you.
Yeah, and also I also feel like a lot of people will be disappointed because this game will be more political correct. Like they
Oh, okay.
had courses about that. Old creators left the company and opened their own companies. And
Right.
I just feel like nowadays they will be soft and people will be angry that this game is too soft compared to older entries.
I hadn't even thought of that, but that's an extremely good point. That game was the previous games were not politically correct by any stretch of the imagination. Uh, as your character does horrible things to people. That's the whole point of the game, right? So if they try, and as much as I am for, uh, you know, for lack of a better phrase, political correctness, as much as I'm for that and for treating people with respect and whatnot, if your game is about being a disrespectful butthead, for I don't want to swear, but I mean that's the point of your game is that you're a jerk in the game. Cleaning that up seems to me like it would take away from that game.
Yes, and not only you are a bad person, but that game was satire from everyone, left,
Yes,
right, and now when
yes,
you are doing only jokes from right wing, it's
yeah.
kinda eh, and
That's a very good. Yeah. So go ahead. Sorry.
and I feel like people will be boycotting hating that game when come out and will return to this game to shops.
Yeah, I think you're right there. What I foresee happening is it's going to come out. There'll be a big fuss for about a month. It'll fade away, and I think most people will go back to playing GTA 5.
Yeah,
just
and we
because it's such a solid game now, right? It's been around for so long. It's solid. There's no problems. There's no bugs left in it, and it's still a huge game. So
yeah, and some people will jump to what to play that Chinese game I mentioned, the
yeah,
the project Ananta,
okay,
because it's kinda something different than that they did with GTA
yeah,
6, because the
yeah,
GTA 6 it even looks like GTA 5. Like I
yes,
don't believe they will revolution like they did a revolution from GTA 4 to 5 or Red Dead
yes,
Redemption 1 to 2.
yes, yeah. That's a really good point. They the other game, the follow up game was different than the original. It broke the mold, and this one doesn't. This is like I said, like you said. I would call this GTA 5.5. Right?
Yeah,
It doesn't look new,
and soft because like I
yeah,
said, I predict they won't be allowed from left stuff. They will
yeah,
only allowed from like Trump followers and others like
yeah,
that.
yeah. I think you're right. Um, so I think we've given GTA 6 more time than the company that's making it has. So let's move on to the
Yeah,
next one. 33 Immortals. You're going to have to tell me about this one because I have trouble
it's
finding information
multiplayer
about this.
game for 33 people, like
Okay.
roguelite.
Okay.
And for me, it's stupid because all these streamers will be playing this game. I don't see people, normal, regular, having so many friends to play multiplayer games.
Okay. Oh, I see. So it's a roguelike, but it requires a certain minimum number of people?
Yes,
Oh, my goodness. Please tell me it isn't 33. Please tell me I don't need to have 32 friends to play this game.
you can also play with random multiplayer people.
Oh, sure, yeah. But I mean, yeah, that's way more fun if you're playing with your friends, right? But okay, yeah.
You
So
you can't have you can't have less people. You need to have 33
holy cow. So yeah,
to
so
do, and you're doing
uh,
just a right for dungeons.
right. Well, yeah. I mean, my first thought on that is that's not going to last long because if you have to find 32 other people, even if it doesn't, even if you can play with random people online, that means that when you go to their site to play, there has to be 32 other people waiting before you could start a game, and
And
that
don't forget about scaling because some players can have better equipment and a level
sure.
while you're beginners.
Oh yeah. Oh, that problem again. Yeah, the old school Dungeons and Dragons problem where your fighter's at level 5, but your wizard is only at level 2. So yeah, that's going to be a problem. That's been a problem in RPGs for decades. But yeah,
And
33
and
people.
this
That's too much.
yeah, and this game they also promoting like for last 3 years.
3 years. Wow.
I'm not sure. I would have to Google it, but I remember they show up it at Xbox showcase few years ago and now
Wow.
come out.
And it's still not out. Wow. Okay. The
And I
next
think
one. Oh, okay.
and I
Go ahead.
think that game is also coming out in early access. I'm not sure, but I think
Uh, yeah. I got some things to say about early access, but we'll save that for later. The next one on the list, again, I don't even know if I'm going to pronounce this right. Animo, Aniimo.
yes.
Yeah,
Uh,
okay. And I watched the preview to this, and I had a two-word response: fluffy Pokemon. Am I
yeah,
right?
it's
Yeah,
got a copy of Palworld.
yeah. Pal World and Pokemon and all those sorts of games. Yeah, that seemed really, really obvious. Except they're all kind of cute and fluffy. But yeah, other than that, what were your thoughts on it?
I don't need another ripoff of Pokemon.
Right? Yeah.
And that Pokemon
That's simple as that, right?
and that game looks like also gacha and copy like Palworld.
Yeah. It looks to me like exactly that. There's very little effort been put into it. It's just a reskin of another game that somebody's trying to make money off of, right?
Yes,
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's not give that one too much time then.
yeah.
That one's in the bin. Um, Deus Ex Remastered. What are your thoughts on that one?
By head, it's even broken game, and they
Oh,
ask for a lot money for that remaster.
oh, so it's being released in a broken state. It's not even
No, they are
finished,
not
or
said it will be this year, but trailers show that it looks worse.
um, what I noticed from the trailers is they use the word remastered, and what I can see is it looks like it was just been reskinned. It's just better graphics.
Yeah,
And if that's the only change, then I'm really not interested. I don't replay games. I know some people do. They'll play the same game 10 times from end to end. I don't. Um, I don't. I have no urge to start a game again just so I can see it with better graphics.
yeah,
I mean, it's a good game. It's not great. It's a classic, but it's not spectacular, right?
and I don't want buy for so big price.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, why am I paying AAA brand new game price for a reskinned game from a decade ago? Right?
Yeah, and I can use free mods to better graphic.
Yeah, exactly. But that slides right into the next one here too. Gothic, the remake. I really liked the first Gothic game. I really did. But I watched the preview for this one, and it's the same thing. It's just been reskinned. There's nothing new. Right?
The even controls are the same.
Yes, the same crappy controls that were in the original Gothic that took so much getting used to. Yes, even they didn't even change that. So,
But
um,
the worst is people from my area will buy in blind that game because of nostalgia, because they're playing and over the original.
yes, yep. And like I said, I don't replay games generally speaking, but I really enjoyed the original Gothic game. But even that's not enough to make me buy this one. Again, I'm not spending good money on a game I've already played that's just got a better look to it. Like you said, there's mods that can do that for me, right?
Also, I feel like this game will be shorter life than original because I feel like some people will be disappointed and some
Hmm.
people want to so many story modes for this new one.
Yes, yeah. It's it
Uh,
strikes me as one of those games it's gonna take some effort to make it good, and I don't see if I'm seeing the effort.
and I also feel like new generation who never play the original Gothic won't play this anyway because
Yeah,
it's a full game
yeah,
where they can play modern games way better in controls and looking.
yeah. And I think that's the dilemma that they're going to find themselves stuck on. The people that liked Gothic aren't going to buy it because they're not going to spend big money on a game they've already played, and anybody that hasn't played Gothic is not going to be interested in this game because it's not a new fancy game, right? And like you said, the controls are annoying to say the least.
Yeah, and also this game looks like from 10 or more years ago. It's not
Exactly.
looking
Yeah.
modern.
Yeah. Even though it's a remake, it still doesn't look modern, right?
I know that they don't have a lot of budget, but still they could do more.
Yeah. Or choose not to do it. If you haven't got the budget to do it right, choose not to do it, right?
Yeah,
Just leave well enough alone.
and also what is even Worse, the original creators, Piranha Bytes, is closed because bankrupt and is doing different studio.
Right. Yeah. So it's not even the same studio doing it. So there's not even a consistent sort of meaning behind the game. It's just somebody's just having a go at it.
Because they can't push it to people around my area to buy that game.
Yeah. 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 Just because of the feel that this could happen in your backyard, right?
No, it's more
No.
like in Poland, Russia, and Germany. This game is huge. Like
Oh.
everybody play it like over and over and over, and they quote quotes from that game,
Oh.
and they even doing alarms from that game.
Oh wow.
So the company publisher see that and they thought that we can do money from that
Yeah.
game seeing
Yeah.
so many people.
Ugh, yeah, yet another game made to make money instead of to make a good game. Right? It seems like a theme. We didn't have that planned as a theme, but it's certainly coming up, isn't it?
Yeah, and like I said, this game's like really huge. Like you
Yeah.
can say you are Polish if you are never played Gothic.
Oh wow. Okay, that it's that big. I got you. I didn't know that. Thank you. That I learned a new thing today. That's really cool. Uh, but
Yeah,
it does.
and I feel like they want now expand that game to rest of the world in a remake.
Maybe that's the plan. Maybe they're trying to get the rest of the world to be as excited about it as Europe already is. That would be an interesting idea.
Not whole Europe, only area like Poland, Czech Republic, Russia, and Germany. Only
Very
those.
specific. That's cool. Like I said, I learned something today, so I didn't know that before. That's now I'm slightly more interested in replaying it because, yeah. Anyway, uh, but speaking of
Also,
making money off, oh, go ahead.
last thing, also, they kinda scammers about that game because they asked for collection edition a lot money while you have only notebook and mask of loco.
Okay, I see. So yeah, somebody, yeah, really trying to turn it into a moneymaker. Uh, but speaking of milking old franchises for new money, the next one on our list, Heroes of Might and Magic: The Olden Era. It's a prequel. Um, I generally don't like prequels at all, and I don't like this one either. But how about you? Tell us what you think
To
of it.
be honest, I'm not waiting because first I need to play that game, the third one, for the first time. And second, I saw that fans of that game are kinda disappointed because this game are making by studio who is specialized in mobile games and
Yeah,
graphic design is not consistent.
yeah, yeah. Absolutely, you can see that as soon as you watch the previews. It looks like a mobile game. It really does look like I should be dragging it around the screen on my phone. Um, and then you always think, why am I paying big money for a mobile game, right?
Yeah, because it's Ubisoft.
Oh, there's the answer. Yeah, good point. Yeah, it's Ubisoft. They want all your money. uh, so, oh, this next one shocked me. I hadn't heard of it. I looked it up and I went, wait a minute, how is this even legal? Marvel Tokon is the name of it. And what I saw is it's Street Fighter, but with superheroes.
Yes,
Is that what you saw as well? I kept thinking that somebody had to pay rights to use these characters in this game. But yeah, that was my thoughts. How about you?
they only promoting because good company is doing that game. But I'm not big fan of fighters. And my PlayStation is promoting this game so much. Like, oh, look, it's great game. Play your game. It's great studio making. And look, we are different because you are have two heroes, no, three heroes to fight versus three heroes. So it's
Yeah.
new gimmick.
Yeah. And yet, even as you said that, you could hear it in your voice. It isn't new. There's nothing new about it. Right? It's just the same thing. What I noticed is even the moves are the same. It's a different character doing the moves, but they're doing the same moves from Street Fighter, the original game. So yeah, it just
Yeah,
seems like they didn't put very much thought into it.
yeah, but promoting PlayStation a lot. And I'm not big fan of these arcade fighters.
Yeah, me neither. Like I said, they cost me way too many quarters back in the '80s. I still hold a grudge against them.
Yeah, last year, no, 2 years ago, I catch up with Tekken, and Tekken I like it, but
Mhm.
mm, nothing more.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat is too brutal for me, and
Mhm.
Street Fighter is like too arcade.
Yeah, it's just a button masher. Speaking of old games that are coming back, though, or they're trying to come back, the next one on our list, Prince of Persia, Sands of Time. Um, I didn't know this was even a project that was happening, but tell us about what your thoughts are on that.
But I have bad things about that game because first trailer before they cancel and move to another studio were looking very bad and very old, too
Mhm.
old.
Yeah, that was the thing I saw too. It looks like an old game. It doesn't look like a modern remake of an old game. It just looks like an old game. So
Yeah,
that one, yeah,
and now they are doing in different studio and sharing nothing but poem.
yeah. That's when you told me that. That shocked me. All that your advertising campaign is a poem. That doesn't say good things about how far you are along with your game, right? You can't even put together a trailer. That's
or,
not good.
or even screenshot. I'm not
Yeah,
asking much, just screenshots.
an actual, yeah, a still screenshot, and they can't seem to do that. So yeah, that tells me that they're nowhere near done, right? They
And
might not even have started yet.
yeah, and previous Prince of Persia looked very Indian cheap
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's very. It looks like a money grab, like a cheap remake.
or indie project, like I
Yeah,
told you about the Lost Crown or about Rogue Prince of Persia.
yeah, yeah. And those ones sounded more interesting to me than this one does.
Yeah, and still they
Oh,
were looking indie.
yeah, exactly. They look like an indie game. They don't look like what's supposed to be a AAA studio game, right?
Yeah,
Speaking of looking bad, this next one bugs me because the rest of the series has been so good. But Assassin's Creed Black Flag Rising,
a remake.
it's a remake. Yeah, I mean, that's a mobile game. We talked about this earlier. When you look at it, that's a mobile game that has no business being on a computer, in my opinion.
Yeah,
What are your
but
thoughts?
mm, I feel bad because this game will be, I feel like, will be destroyed by grind. Like
Yeah.
it will ruin memories about Black Flag.
Yes, and yeah, I think taking that great RPG game and turning it into a grind game is not the way I would have gone. That's
They
for
only
sure.
did on modern engine and that's
Yeah, yeah. Another case of an old game on a new engine, right? And
and
it's just
just and just add side quest grinding with
yeah,
bunch of question marks.
yeah, and I mean, let's be honest. Most people played the original Creed Black Flag so they could fight in ships. I mean, it was the big thing. In fact, it was going to spin off a whole new game, Skull and Bones, which never it happened, but it didn't happen the way it was supposed to happen. But yeah, for anybody who is coming from the original Black Flag expecting more of the same, it's going to be massively let down.
Yeah,
The only thing that game, watching that trailer, did is make me want to play Black Flag again. I might reload it this afternoon just to play some ship fighting because that part of it was a lot of fun.
yeah,
But yeah, but I was so let down when I saw this. I just thought, oh my goodness, is this? I should be playing this on my phone, right?
yeah, and also, last Assassin's Creed, The Shadows, was very and very grinding. So I assume this remake will be the same. Like imagine that you have big list of targets in circles and to do story come out you need 10 targets in one circle kill and get
Yeah,
information from NPC to kill each target and then you have like 10 rings of targets
yeah. Yeah. I see what you mean. It's
and
just
you
it's
don't
never ending. Yeah,
and you don't even have story. You just hear, oh, this, thank you for saving me. This guy you looking for is here. And you go
yeah,
and another. You don't even
yeah.
have story or backstories.
Yeah, it's not even linked together. It's just a series of encounters, like a bad RPG, right? There's no story behind it.
And you need to do this because you need to get to general who rules of those 10 people. So you need to weak him by eliminate those targets.
Right. So it's also very linear too. It's not an open world game. You have to do it in a certain order. Yeah. Ugh,
I imagine,
not excited.
I imagine Black Flag will be the same, and you will be having bunch of question marks with treasures.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just going to be it'll turn into a shipborne version of a looter shooter, right? You
Yeah,
go and shoot the guy and take his stuff and there's no story.
or you
Yeah.
need to go to that island or underwater and go to treasure to clean map.
Yeah. And like I said, to me, the worst part of this is the Assassin's Creed so far, up until this one, has been really, really good. Not perfect, but really good. And then to go from that to this is just, ugh,
I also
I
hated
don't like it.
I also hated that in Assassin's Creed Odyssey you had big world and
Mhm,
ton of trash in treasure. Like you had so many swords and armor and
mhm,
most of them were weak to sell or to make materials. And you
yeah,
are going and like 20 or more question mark in one city to get to open chest and
yeah.
they are weak and fighting is RPG so it's like if you are toothbrush attacking big giant
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You have to grind because otherwise you'll fall behind the game and you'll never win. Yeah, I
and
don't like
fighting
those.
is like a sponge for attacks
Yeah,
enemies
yeah, ugh.
so I feel
Yeah.
like
It's
ships will be like that.
yeah, yeah. I was hoping for a lot, and I don't think we're going to get anywhere near that. So I'm going to skip
I
that one for sure.
I I wait away. I mean, I like it a lot. The Yakuza period last year.
Mhm.
It was
Yeah,
fun. I don't
yeah,
have that much question marks and sponges.
yeah, yeah. It was more of a story. It was more of an RPG than just a
Yeah,
looter shooter. Yeah. Um, well, that brings us to our next one. Tomb Raider: Legacy of Atlantis. More Lara Croft.
Yeah,
My yeah,
and I heard they used generative AI to bring back this remake.
yep, that's one of the knocks on it. It's using Gen AI. It's supposed to be a retelling of the classic tale, and again, if you're just retelling a story, why are you making the game?
They also ultimate the anniversary edition, so I can.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the anniversary edition would have been an excellent place to stop the series. It's been around for ages and ages and ages. It doesn't need to keep going, right?
And
Uh,
also the anniversary edition, people didn't like it. So why they should like this remake?
yep. Yeah, I agree with you on that one. I
And
don't
I
see anything original about it.
and I hate, and I mean like really hate that Amazon who doing this game don't bother to Poland to localization in Polish that game. Previous Tomb Raiders were in Polish, but not this one.
Huh. Well, that's interesting. That's a strange place to save money. Yeah, odd decision to say the least. Um,
You
but yeah,
don't see that they cutting budget, don't only AI using, but also not bother to translate in various language.
yeah, that tells me they're trying to save money, right? Um, and I don't. Yeah, it just it seems like they're making a game that they don't care about, right? That's what I read off of that.
And the
If you're not
most,
willing to make the effort, then you don't care. Yeah,
yeah, the most sad for me is that a lot of YouTubers will be playing because nostalgia while shouldn't support that game.
yeah, yeah. The whole generative AI thing is ripping through the game community right now, and anybody with eyes in their head can see that you shouldn't be using it at this point. It's just going to cost you too much grief. People are going to not buy your game because of it. I know that it's going to save you a couple bucks, but it won't if you can't sell your game. If you can't sell your game, you don't make any money. So,
Yeah, and also what companies saving money? Like my Amazon, they have like $1 billion.
yeah, yeah,
They are sending Katy Perry into space, but don't pay for graphics and writers to game.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's like they'd rather not pay humans. And so it says a lot about the company that's making the game too. And I think that's gonna blow up in their face is what I honestly think is gonna happen. There's been a lot of games in the last 6 months that have had their sales absolutely devastated when it came out that they used AI. People, especially creative people that want to play games, they're not interested. They're not interested in AI at all.
Yeah,
Um,
but I hate that YouTubers already started hyping that games
oh yeah,
because in December a lot of Polish and not only Polish YouTubers were playing the trilogy reboot that was few years
sure.
ago.
Yeah,
So I feel like they will be first who will be playing and recording and they shouldn't support that.
yeah, I agree with you. I, yeah, I agree with you. That's all that needs to be said there. I'm with you on this.
And
Anybody that's using
also,
AI is taking the life
and,
of their game in their hands at this point.
yeah, and also they should fight for localization. This game
Yes.
will be in English but not Polish. So
Yeah.
they will add fun subtitles. And it's
Right.
like for me sad.
Yeah. Yeah. That's again, that's not thinking about your audience, right? Your audience is worldwide. Your audience speaks multiple languages. Translation is not it's not an expensive thing compared to other parts of video games. You got to pay programmers a lot more than you have to pay translators, and the translator only has to work for a couple of hours to do their job, whereas a programmer works for 3 years on the project, right? So um, it seems like an odd place to try to save money.
Yeah,
especially because it's going to cost you customers. Absolutely. If you have to play with subtitles, that's going to take a whole bunch of people that just aren't interested anymore.
yeah, and even paid Fortnite to promote this game
Yeah.
and the Game Awards, which
Yeah.
was also a lot money.
Oh, yeah. And again, they're spending all their money on advertising instead of on the game, right? Which always makes me worried.
Yeah,
Because you've only got so much budget. Why quit telling me how great it's going to be, and how about you go sit in your studio and make it great instead of telling me that it's going to be good? Uh, but that's not how it works. Uh, that's enough time on Tomb Raider, right? Yeah, let's
yeah,
move on. Um, this next one, again, pardon my pronunciation if I get it wrong, but Tomodachi Life, Living the Dream.
yeah.
Tell us about that one.
It's like multiplayer live sim, but
Okay.
but characters for me looks weird, and it's old franchise of Nintendo that they are bring back.
Okay. So sort of a back from the dead game. I
Yeah,
mean, I can understand why somebody wants to jump on the Sims bandwagon. That's you know all the games and all the DLC that has managed to sell. It's obviously a moneymaker for people. But there's another game coming out in this next year that's also like this. What is it called? I think it's called Paralife,
yes,
something like that. And that one looked interesting. I know we're not
yeah,
doing games we're looking forward to. This is games we aren't looking forward to. But if you're not looking forward to Tomodachi Life, there is at least an alternative coming, right?
yeah,
But yeah, and like I said, this The Sims it's never something that's appealed to me as a player, but I can see the number of people who play it. It is a massive audience, and I can see wanting to get in on that. But if you're not going to do it well, I mean, Sims does their what they do pretty well. If you're not going to do it that well, then you probably shouldn't be in the game.
yeah. So I don't feel a reason to buy Nintendo Switch 2 for that
Again,
game.
yeah, exactly. I'm spending. I don't just have to buy the game. I also have to buy the system to run it on, and that that's a lot of money for, as we said, over the whole list today. Two games, right? Only two games have been on the Switch. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
also that characters in that game looks like from Mythopia Nintendo.
Oh, okay. So yeah, yeah. So they're stealing from everybody. That's
It's the same company because it's
oh,
doing
okay.
Nintendo.
Oh, of course, right. So that makes sense. You're allowed to steal from yourself. I think that's still legal.
And,
But yeah,
and its whole mimic is you have town and your friends are NPCs and your family. And you
it's got
are
an interesting
making
idea to it.
and you are making friends with other NPCs. And that's all.
Yeah. So an interesting idea, but it's been done 1,000 times, right?
Yeah.
And done well 1,000 times. So you're
And I
yeah,
don't
good luck with that.
and I don't need spend so much money.
Yeah, exactly. Especially because you have to buy the hardware to go along with the software.
And $80 for game.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. We're already talking about games are too much, and if I also have to buy the hardware that costs hundreds of dollars, then that puts it out of most people's range, right?
Yeah.
Hmm. So we're getting through this list, but the next one, this is another one of those ones that I had to look for, and I had a heck of a time finding it. So you're going to have to tell me about Project Rene.
It's not a Sims game, but it's
Okay.
multiplayer and looks like a Fortnite and mixed with Roblox. It's The Sims,
Okay.
but it's not The Sims 5, but it's multiplayer, free to play.
Well, it's a free to play. Okay. And what is it that you don't like about this?
Characters look awful, and nobody asked for multiplayer The Sims.
That's true. Yeah. I was when you first said it, I thought, oh, that's a neat idea. But then I thought, not really, not the way The Sims works, right? The Sims is about one person. It's about you. So yeah,
And
that doesn't.
And game have looks like mobile game.
Yeah, it's another
Exactly.
one of those. It's another one of those that absolutely looks like it's been ported over from a mobile game for sure.
But mechanics are like Roblox.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And they are
So
doing now a spin-off to that Project Renner, Project X, which will be single player, but based on assets from Project Renner. And,
okay.
and it's just the Sims 4 one, like they kinda don't do the Sims 5, but
Right.
between 4 and 5.
Okay. So yeah, Sims
Because the
4.5. Yeah.
Yes, because they don't have money too much for fixing the Sims 4, which this game is for 12 years
Right.
already. And
Yeah.
every update or new DLC broke a game.
Right. Yeah. That's not good. Um, yeah. When your own DLC when your own DLC is breaking your game, that's a bad sign.
And they, you know what did to fix that game? They add function where you can turn off some of DLC you purchase. So,
So they sell you flawed DLC, and then as a fix, they tell you to turn off the DLC that you paid for.
yes, and
Oh
this
my goodness.
function even also broke because later you have communication, you don't have this DLC.
Right. Oh, of course, yeah. When you try to do something, it says, "Oh no, you don't have this because we've turned it off." Oh my
No,
goodness.
you don't need to rebuy that game or
Oh wow.
saves and stuff like that.
Oh my goodness.
It's
Yeah.
really broken.
That is ridiculous. Oh, okay. So yeah, we'll leave that one in the pile.
I just, I'm also scared that I want to play that Project Renner, but I don't have many people with who I could play because
Yeah.
not many my friends play The Sims,
Yeah.
and also don't want with random people play because
Yeah.
this game is awkward if someone random will dating my sim or come
Yeah.
to my apartment, the sim, and broke stuff.
Yeah, that's that kind of goes completely against the whole Sims concept, right?
And
Just doesn't work.
yeah, and also I'm scared that invest into DLC because what if that game will shut down after one
Yep.
year because
Yep.
flop?
Yep. And then you're stuck with it and you can't play it. That's a
Uh,
problem with any game that
yeah,
requires an online server, right?
yeah, but it's not only stuck. I mean, in the way like I buy expensive DLCs because I want to this game works with other players, but
Yeah.
then this game will be shut down and removed from store and my money for DLC.
Yeah. And it's gone. Yeah. And there's nothing you can do about it. Yeah. So that's a concern. Anytime that they need to, if it's up to somebody else to decide when the game ends, that's not good for you, right?
Yeah, but they said that some stuff will be for free, but activities will be as DLC. Like for example, you will have in base game seasons, but ice skating in DLC. But if this game will be big hub online, like like Roblox, then how it will works when some players will buy this function like ice skating why I am not buying. This
Yeah.
game can fast broke. It will be like FOMO to buy those DLC. But what the point buying DLC when the game will be live like few months only?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that completely.
It's why I
Okay.
worry about that game that first I don't have many people to play with and I don't want random people, but also about those DLCs.
Yeah, I understand completely. Um, okay, let's move on. This is kind of where we switch from the games that you listed to the ones that I listed. So
Yes,
there's going to be a change of theme here,
yeah,
definitely. The first thing I put on my list isn't a specific game, but it's a thing that I drives me nuts. If I see any early access game on Steam or anywhere else that hasn't been updated in the last month, I'm not touching it because I feel that it's not going to get updated and it's just going to sit there half finished, and I'm going to have yet another half finished buggy game in my collection. Is that something that you have as well?
yeah, and I also hate that even if they have update, some games are like for 20 years in early access.
Yes, yeah. Um, and that's been some of the big fails in 2025 have been games that are got into early access and got stuck there. So I'm not playing that game anymore. I don't take the chance.
And I also have dilemma that if I doing a ranking of best games or worst games of year, I should count this game that come out of early access or start as early access and then skip that game.
Right. Yeah. And even that's changed too now because some of these games, uh, one of the driving sims that I play was so bold, and it was quite a fuss in the sim racing community. They were in early access, but they were already selling DLC. So a lot of people were like, "Wait a minute, if you're not done, why are you selling me DLC?" It turned out it worked out in the end, and when they released the game in 1.0, everything worked. But it's a pretty bold move to be charging people for DLC on a game that's officially not even started yet. But I also agree with you. When did that game start? Do I what year do I count it in? If it went into early access in 25, but it's not released till 26, what year is that game released, right?
Yeah, also another reason why I don't like early access is when big AAA companies doing early access. Like,
Yes.
for example, Krafton did with Inzoi
Yeah,
or
and it's
or EA or EA released Skate in early access.
yes, yeah, and I always feel like they're using me as their free beta tester. Like I
Yeah,
paid for the game, and all I'm doing is reporting bugs, right?
or
Yeah,
another example, Obsidian was owned by Microsoft, released in early access the survival game The
yeah,
Granted and
mhm,
sequel to as early
yeah,
access. And I'm
yeah,
like, why? They are not
yeah.
indie. So why I should buy early access to Granted?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, if it makes sense, like you said, as an indie company, it makes sense because you need the money. So you start selling your game before it's actually done. You get feedback from people to help you make it better, and off you go. But yeah, AAA companies, I completely agree with you. AAA companies have got no business releasing early access games. If it's not done, don't release it, right?
It's like paying for a demo.
Yes, exactly. That's a really good way of putting it. Yeah, for a buggy demo, in many cases, right?
And
So,
and I
yeah,
hated that Granted 2 last year was also early access while most of assets were from first game. Like
yeah,
most
yeah,
assets.
yeah. When you see that there doesn't seem to be a reason for it to be in early access, they're not asking for help. They're not trying to work out a new system. They're just trying to get some money, right? Try to sell a game that isn't done yet.
Yeah, another example is where games are like episodic. Like for
Yeah,
example, The Long Dark. It was in early access like for 10 years and now
yes,
coming out in
yeah.
March.
Yeah, yeah, that seems ridiculous. Um, I don't like the whole concept of early access, but if you've got to do it, then again, I don't think AAA companies should be doing it.
Or
But that's just me.
episodic games.
Yeah, yeah. Your funding should be in place before you start. You shouldn't have to go to early access just to get funding.
Yeah, but I
Uh,
mean, why I should wait for episode like a year or more?
yeah, yeah, exactly. Um, it's just not worth it. So I'm gonna wait till it's done and I'll buy it all at once. Thank you.
And then, do you count this game as this year game or when come
Mhm.
out 4 years ago?
Right. Yeah. That one you were talking about, maybe it came out 10 years ago, maybe it came out 2 years ago, maybe it's coming out next year, right? How do you say? Because it's been around for 10 years in
Yeah,
early
but
access.
I mean 1.2.0 you count as premiere date or when
Yeah,
they were in early access.
exactly. Yeah. Does it have to be version 1.0 before that's an official release date? Uh, but I guess I should get back to specific games that I'm not waiting for. And this one, the number one on this list was easy. Anything in the Total War series. Uh, there's over 20 titles in that series so far. The next one is Total War 40K, so it's the Warhammer universe. And when I read that, I thought, what's next? Total War back alley knife fight. It's been done to death. There's no real new mechanics. There's nothing interesting about it. It's just different soldiers doing the fight, and that's the
Yeah,
only difference. And I'm done. I'm absolutely done with the
and
Total
they are
War
doing
series.
a remake of Total War Medieval.
Yep. Oh yeah. They just can't stop. uh, and there's some other series that are like that as well. Dawn of War. There's 20 something variations of that, and that one, the Dawn of War one, really bugs me because it says right on the packaging, it says classic gameplay returns, which in my mind means there's nothing new here.
Yeah,
It's the same noise again. It's just another RTS game. And I am so sick of the thousands and thousands of RTS games that are out there. Um, they're not bringing anything new. There's nothing new in the game, and if you're not bringing me anything new, why are you doing this?
yeah,
Um, a lot of these, I keep thinking they should be DLC, right? I should
yeah,
buy the Total War game once, and then buy the Warhammer DLC and the Medieval DLC, and let's do it that way, rather than a whole new game where I can't even interchange them, right? Because they're all separate games, I can't even play a 40k army against a medieval army to see how that would go, right? Because they're all separate and then it's not DLC. So just more of the same with nothing new drives me nuts.
yeah,
Uh, and just to be clear about that, there are some real time strategy games that I am looking forward to in 2026. I'll just mention two of them: War of Dots and Punic Bellum, because we're not talking about games we want to see this time. But I just want to be clear that I'm looking forward to some RTS games, just not Dawn of War and not Total War, because they've been done to death.
yeah,
So, and I, like I said, I'm looking for something new and interesting, right? I want to see something that I haven't seen before. It's not just a remake. So, yeah, those ones drive me nuts. Do you play those much?
Total War Rome too,
Okay,
kinda.
yeah, yeah. And what did you think of that?
I was okay, but difficult.
Yeah, that's the other challenge with the RTS is you tell your your armies what to do, and then you watch them not do it. It gets very
Yeah, but
frustrating.
also I mean, are the sources, unit control, and it
Oh
was
yeah,
multiplayer game.
yep, yep. And my knock on RTSs from the very beginning has been that in the real world, no one general would ever have to make all of these decisions, right?
Yeah,
No one person is in charge of a 10,000 unit army. It breaks down. You know, you do you. it's much smaller scale, so that doesn't
Yeah,
work for me.
but
And I know there are people that are good at it, but I'm just not one. I'm
eh,
like you. I get frustrated.
yeah, and you don't only control units, but also food,
Oh yeah,
population,
yep. S-
morals,
supply line and the supply lines and everything else. Yeah, it's
and
just
materials for
yeah,
army like metal.
yeah. And I spend the whole game wishing that I could pause and do things, and you can't. Right, you're trying to do everything
Yeah,
all at once, and yeah, I get frustrated. But like I said, there's a couple that I'm looking for in the new year because they're simple, and that's that change, right? They're different than everything else. They're super simple. They're
yeah,
minimalist. They're about strategies, not about clicking and knowing the right buttons to click. So they're out there. Good RTS stuff is out there. It's just not the big names that people are used to looking at least not in my opinion.
yeah.
So let's move. Okay, I think we've only got a couple left here. Yeah. Um, Resident Evil Requiem. Is that something you've looked at?
Kinda, but I'm not a super big fan. I just am curious what they will do with Leon. That's all.
Yeah. So you got it. You've even got almost a reason to watch. Um, the thing that got me on this is when I was watching the preview is it's at least 5 years too late.
Yeah,
Nobody's doing zombie stuff anymore, right? I mean, I know it's Requiem, it's a flashback to a previous one, but zombie games are done and dusted. Nobody's doing zombie games anymore, right? Like Dead to Rights or any of those. They're gone. They're done. They ran their course and they're finished. And now somebody's still trying to make another one, and it
when
just
they,
it just
when,
doesn't work.
yeah, and when they doing zombie game, they trying something new, like Dying Light,
Yeah, yeah, and it's just
with parkour.
yeah, and it's just like I said, they're trying to make it current and relevant, and it's the whole idea isn't. It's just it's not the right time to be making zombie games right now, right? It just doesn't work. Nobody's interested. But that was the
Yeah,
reason that one bugged me. Like I said, 5 years too late, and is trying to cash in on the zombie craze that's already passed. It'd be like somebody trying to sell Tamagotchis again. It's too late. The boo boos have taken over, right?
yeah, and and I'm also kinda sad they didn't bring back Ethan Daughter, the Rose, but the new character.
Yeah. So yeah, they missed the boat. They didn't. They went to make a tie-in with an older game, and they missed the tie-in. Like it doesn't tie in like it should because, like you said, there's characters missing. And at the same time, it just feels out of date. It just feels like
They are
it's not the right game.
they are doing just because they did remakes. So now they bring back and maybe they even will reuse some assets from remakes.
They see again. This is a theme we've had through this whole show: is people seeing a way to make money and jumping on that and hoping that it works. And people like you and I going, I see what you're doing there. So,
Yeah, like I said, I will check out, but I'm not like, wow, I need to play. It's like with new Silent Hill that will come out this
yeah,
year as well, and will be experimental storytelling episodic, like not
yeah,
even action, but like walking simulator in
yeah,
episodes.
yeah,
They they announce.
yeah. And when that's the ad, you're not in for anything good, right?
Yeah, but they said they
uh,
want Silent Hill every year.
yeah, and again, there's times and places where games work, right? There was a year or two where everything was zombies, and everything that had zombies in it sold amazing number of copies. But that's done. For a while, superhero movies that we talked about earlier, there's been so many, that is just you get sort of your head starts to spin trying to keep them all straight, right?
Yeah,
And they're all the same, and there's nothing new or different about them. And I think that's
also,
what I. Mhm,
also about this zombie games, I never
mhm.
forget a joke that made Uncle Joe that there was Uncle Joe and other Joe, and the other Joe were coming and say, "Hey Joe, do you want to play zombie game?" And he was doing like 5 times, and then Uncle Joe say, "Joe, how many zombie games you have?"
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Because I mean, they're basically all the same game, right? I mean, all zombie games are shoot, shoot, run, run, shoot, shoot, run, run, right? And that's what
Yeah.
you do. And yeah, how many versions of that do I have to
Some
have?
some are kinda different, like Dying Light, because you have parkour and you survive in parkour on roof, like Assassin's Creed. And
Which is a neat twist.
yeah, or Dead Rising, where you are in male parodying action movies.
Yeah, yeah, and if you do something like that to make it interesting or different, then I get it, and I'm interested again. But if it's just another zombie movie or just another zombie game, you're not getting my money. That's
I
the short version of that.
I even had enough when I saw commercial for Pride and Prejudice Zombie Edition.
Yes, I saw that, and I thought it was a joke. I thought it was something like from The Onion or something, one of those satire newspapers is what I thought it was, but no, apparently not. Apparently, we're going to get that. Corsets and zombies. I don't know where that fits in, but okay.
Yeah,
But we're getting real close to the end here because, and I did it again. You asked for very specific games, and I did one. I started with one that wasn't a game, just any early access game that hasn't been updated in a month. And my second to last one is any drone racing game. They started to come out 2024 and 2025. The first person flying a drone game. And boy, oh boy, are they all the same. I mean, it's hard to tell them apart when you watch the previews.
yeah.
They're so identical. They look like they use the same software. Um,
And you know
and
what is the best? For me was enough when in Yakuza spin-off where this minicame of drones racing in mail. That
yeah,
was enough as minicame in bigger game.
yes, yes, exactly. It's the drone racing genre isn't big enough, I don't think, to have its own games. I love the idea of it being a mini game in another game. That I get. Like, so for one mission, you have to be the first guy to get your drone to that target over there. Go. That sounds like fun to me. But to race the drones on the same tracks in the same way, and it's the driving game version of a button masher.
Yeah,
They're
but
so fast that it's all about just hitting. It's reaction times. It's not even
yeah,
driving in any real way.
yeah, and the best part in Yakuza spin-off Judgment, the minigame was that you even customize drones like buying parts
Yeah,
separate, and
yeah,
you had also dodge some elements like walls, and
yes,
that's
yeah.
more interesting than the same game.
Yeah, yeah, and I
And
hadn't seen that, and that like I said, that does interest me. That sounds interesting.
it
Um,
was mini game. I'm telling you, it wasn't main game. It was just
exactly.
extra one.
Yeah, and that like I said, that I think is where that genre belongs. Is a mini game.
And
I don't see it as a full standing game by itself.
that game came out in 2021.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
Yakuza one.
mm, yeah, and the drone racing games are just like I said, they've really hit the market in the last year and a bit, and I said they're all the same. So I guess buy one maybe if you want to try it, but you certainly don't need them all because they're all the same.
For me, the same is kinda. kart racing games. Like there
Yes.
were Mario Kart, Sonic Kart,
Yep.
the
Oh yeah.
other like Smurfs kart games,
Yep.
Garfield.
Yep. Oh yeah. And yeah, anything to try and make a sale, right? Uh, but that brings us really quite nicely to the last actual game on my list, which was Forza Horizons 6. It's a driving game, kind of. It's an arcade game. That's my my sim racing nerd going. It's not a sim. It's an arcade game, but it is what it is. And my problem with Forza Horizon 6 isn't the gameplay itself. It isn't the idea of a video game level of driving game. What bugs me about it is, like we've been saying over and over and over again, there's nothing new. This should have been DLC. It should have been 3 tracks and 4 cars as DLC, and we're done. Having a whole new game with quote unquote a whole new map is it's added nothing to the game. It's certainly added nothing to the whole stream of games that the Forza Horizon driving arcade games are. There's nothing new in this game, and I picked it as my last one because to me that's a summary of most of what we had a knock on about our games and even about our movies that we talked about earlier today.
Yeah,
There's a lot of these that are just there's nothing new, and if there's nothing new, I'm not interested. Does that sum it up for you?
yeah.
Yeah.
If we talk about genres that I'm not waiting, I have enough of vampire survivors.
Oh yeah, there's another one. Yeah, honestly, survival games of all kinds
Yeah,
go in the
but
bin for me, but
yeah,
that's a
but
personal thing.
yeah, but I mean that roguelite where you are fighting bunch of enemies. And I also have enough of friend slope.
Yeah, yeah, I get it. Yeah. Well, how about
Okay,
we fin- how about we
thank
finish this on
yes,
a high note, just before we because we talked about a lot of negative stuff here today.
yeah,
Um, would it be okay to end on a positive note by saying, "Tell me one game that you are looking, one game or movie that you are looking forward to for next year"?
yes. From movies, I'm really waiting for Avatar, the Last Airbender animated movie because
Yeah.
we'll be Hunter. So I'm really waiting for that movie. And from games, I'm waiting for Paralives, and I'm kinda also waiting for for there's few games that I'm really looking forward at next year. I mean this
Yeah.
year.
Well, that's I liked it we ended on that. I'm going to add mine too. I mentioned them earlier, so I'm just going to use them again. Um, the two games that I'm really looking forward to for the next year are both real-time strategy games. One of them is called Dot Wars, and the other one's called Parabellum. And they are hyper simple versions of what normally are very, very complicated games. And I like that idea because it's new. I want to try a real time strategy game that is just about moving things on the map. I don't have to worry about supply chains and I don't have to worry about any of that foolishness or creating new heroes. It all happens automatically, and I just get to be a strategic general. So I'm
Yeah,
really looking forward to those. But with that, I want to say thank you for bringing me to this. I have never done a podcast before today, so it was a really cool experience. You made it very easy and very enjoyable and a lot of fun, and I'm already looking forward to what we're going to do next week. So thank you.
thank you also for coming and welcome, and thank you to people who listen to us. See you next time. Bye.
Bye bye.